Welcome back. The story you're about to hear is called How to Get a Kosher Meal in Jail. The only time that my religion, Judaism, ever benefited me was when I was in the Seminole County Jail. I had heard, before I went to jail, that if you were Jewish, you could request kosher meals, kind of like on an airplane. People can request a kosher meal in the old days. So I decided I was going to ask for a kosher meal. And for some reason, the chaplain at the jail had a very important role as an intermediary between the inmates and the administration. So when you wanted a kosher meal, you had to write an email. We have a kiosk in the cell block, and you can write emails to other people in the building, in the jail. So I wrote an email to the chaplain saying I would like kosher meals, because the food, obviously, the food that you get in jail is the worst food you could possibly imagine. People who are homeless who go to a soup kitchen are eating better than the people who are in jail. But for example, everyone knows that there's something called mystery meat, right? Whether you're in school or whether you're in college, there's something called mystery meat. And in the Seminole County Jail, mystery meat was like this round, hard, brown thing, looked like a hockey puck. And they called it, and no one had any idea what was in it. And they referred to it as a pterodactyl burger. That's what the guys and the inmates called it, a pterodactyl burger. So in an effort to avoid pterodactyl burgers, I decided I was going to ask for kosher meals. And the interesting thing was there were two African-American guys in the same cell block that I was in, and they were receiving kosher meals. So I don't know how they got kosher meals, but they did. Unless they were Jewish, I don't know what they were. So I decided to ask for a kosher meal. I wrote to the chaplain, and he said, I'm going to come and talk to you. Okay, so he had to actually interview me before he would authorize the kosher meals. So here I am now, standing outside in the hallway, talking to this chaplain, and he's asking me all these questions in order to get the kosher meals. And then one of the questions he asked me was, how many refrigerators did you have growing up? How many refrigerators do we have? Well, the answer is one. And I know, because my cousin, Barbara, keeps kosher. People who keep kosher do not have multiple refrigerators. What they have are multiple sets of dishes, because you can't have a milk dish and a meat dish at the same time, and you can't serve it on the same plate. So if you serve dairy on a plate one day, that plate is now a dairy plate. You cannot serve meat on that plate. So my cousin had her cabinets labeled meat and milk with a little label maker, so she knew which dishes to use and I assume which silverware, but certainly not the refrigerator. So I thought, because you're not cooking anything in the refrigerator. So I thought that was kind of a strange question. And then finally, his last question he asked me was, who is Jesus? That was the question. Who is Jesus? And I looked at him. I'm like, you're the chaplain. So don't you know who Jesus is? So I felt kind of like on the spot. So I'm like, well, what do I say? Who is Jesus? I came up with this line. I said, Jesus was a man. That's what I said. Jesus was a man. That's all I said. And he left and he approved me. So that was the story on how to get a kosher meal in jail. Don't forget to read my book, Broccoli Time by Dante, available now on Amazon Books.